Hello, everybody. I'm Catherine Buffy, and this is Stories from the Stage, an interview series that looks behind the curtain to talk with the folks that make theater magic happen, both at the Redlands Footlighters Theater and across the Inland Empire. Today, our guest is Mel Chadwick. Say hello, Mel.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. I'm so glad to talk with you today. And I'm curious to hear, when was the moment in your young life when the artistic spark happened? And did it happen in art, in performance, in some other venue? When did it begin for you?
When did it begin for me? Well, it happened in art, and I've always been an artist all my life, a graphic type artist, a two-dimensional artist. And so that happened early on. I was preschool, actually. I saw some art that some distant relative did, sketches that my mother had kept in a trunk. And I looked and I was just completely blown away by it. And I tried to emulate that. And so I spent the rest of my life doing that kind of thing, doing drawings and paintings and that sort of thing. But there came a time when I wanted to branch out into acting, and that's when the bug really bit. So I must have been, I was way older, much older.
Oh, I won't ask you to say.
It's okay. I don't mind saying that. I was 50.
So a renaissance for you, a different way to express.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like a drug. It was really, well, my first experience was as an adult, and was in Lake Arrowhead. And just before I went on stage for the first time, I just wanted somebody to hit me across the back of the head with a 2x4 and get me out of my misery, because I was terrified. And once I got on stage, it was like a whole new world opened up to me, and I loved it. I've loved it ever since.
And now you've added directing. How did that transition happen for you?
That transition happened because I wanted to tell a story, and I knew that, like a painter, painting on a canvas, that is my piece of art. I'm in charge of that art. And I see a director as the painter of the picture, and the actors as the colors. And so I get to be, that's how I look at it anyway. I get to be the artist doing the painting, and I get to make that painting look exactly the way I want it to look. And that really got me going as a director.
What was the first show that you directed?
Oh, it was a little thing up in Lake Arrowhead, and it was called, it was awful. It was called Millard Fillmore Day. It probably wasn't awful, but I don't know. But it just got me going. I just loved it because I could, without being pushy, I could make people tell a story the way I wanted it told. So that was my first time ever. Millard Fillmore Day, it was called.
So just as acting and performing is a learning curve, we start out terrified and we continue on until we're terrified, but we have some techniques to get us through it,
Right.
It's out there.
It's very strange because I swear to you, that first time I went on stage, I thought I would rather be tortured than do this. Why do people do this? I don't understand it. And I was on and on, and I was almost physically sick. I was just so scared. And then I shifted into sort of like pretend mode. When you're a kid, you know how you pretend to be whatever, Robin Hood or whoever, or Maid Marian and whatever. So I pretended, I just went into that mode, and I loved it. It just seemed so natural to me.
Do you get nervous when you're directing a show? Do you still have those?
Oh, more so than I do when I'm acting.
Really?
Yeah, I do. It's a different kind of nervous, though. It's not, am I going to remember the lines nervous? It's, are they going to do it right? Are they going to come in on the right cue? Are they going to hit their spots? Are they, that kind of thing. And if they don't, then what do we do? Or if somebody doesn't show up, what do we do? That sort of thing. It's a different kind of nervous.
What is the secret to being a great director? You've talked about how you visualize yourself in the role, but as a performer, you're on the other side of that. So what do you think? Is there a secret one, or maybe there's a couple, but if you had to pick one?
For me, it would be how to cast, know how to cast. Just know, it's just, I think that's the first step. You've got to really know what you're doing in casting a play. You can't, I don't think, in my personal opinion, I don't cast for looks. I mean, if the person fits the role, physically, that's okay. But they have to be able to act, to make me believe they are that person. That's the most important part for me. Yeah.
You watch a lot of shows around the region in your role as a judge for the Inland Theater League. I always want to insert
right, ITL, right.
Theater League, ITL. And as a performer, you're watching your friends' shows, but you're watching a lot in your role to judge and to vote for these awards. And some people might be on the fence about award ceremonies or giving awards in theater.
Sure.
What do you see the value added is? What is the positive gain to having that kind of an organization?
The ITL, well, I think it gives a lot of motivation to actors, and especially if they're new to acting and they're new to the whole Inland Empire area. It helps motivate them to maybe do a better job, and it's certainly, if they're nominated, they get very excited about it. And so I think it's pretty worthwhile in that sense, that it helps stimulate theater in their region, I think. Is that kind of what you had in mind?
Yeah, no, it does. I was just thinking about my first experience and my first few nominations and awards.
Yeah,
I think that was exactly it, that it
Yeah.
took me in even more so, that sense of, oh, can I improve? Can I be part of the folks that are doing it?
Right, exactly. There's an inclusion there that's important, I think, for actors and directors.
So every year for, I'm not sure how many years, in December, you're doing a special kind of show.
Right, yes.
You are playing, well, maybe I'll let you say, what are you doing that time each year?
Well, I play a big jolly man in a red suit at a national theme park in Southern California. So I've been doing that for about 15 years or so. And it's 2 months out of my life, and I really love it. I got to do it in Japan for a couple of years as well, so in Tokyo Disney. But it really kind of puts a period on the end of my year. It's a nice way to end each year. But as I told you earlier, I'm not going to be able to do that this year.
Sadly true, and I think we all know why. And that makes me think, when you talk about endings, it makes me think about the most recent show that you were directing at the Redlands Footlighters Theater.
Yes.
Maybe you could talk for a moment about that and how that worked out for you all.
I was so proud of it. It was really your baby. I mean, when you're a director, that show becomes your baby, and it does for me anyway. And it was called the OConnor Girls, and I had an excellent cast. They were just wonderful. They just fit the role, and they got into it, and it was real. And that's what I look for. That's what I really strive for in a play, is to make it real, to make people believe that this is just a slice of life, and all of a sudden they're sitting in somebody's living room. That's very important to me. And they did that, and then I'm smiling now, but I wasn't smiling then. On the 14th of March, we opened and we closed on the 16th. So we had 2 days, 2 performances, maybe 3 if you count the friends and family night, of what I thought was a very good show that nobody's ever heard of, but it was just a very pleasant night in the theater, I thought. And I got a lot of feedback from people saying the same thing. So, but it had to end, and it did, because of the virus. My cast members actually asked if maybe we should cancel.
And I remember when that announcement came through, and it was still early days of the closures and the pandemic. And I remember thinking, oh, I understand, but also thinking, really need to do that, and it turns out to have been exactly the right choice given what we know now. There were still those early days in March when we weren't sure.
Right, yeah. I had some cast members who wanted to just stop, they wanted to back out because they didn't want to get the virus and they didn't want to give anyone the virus and make an opportunity for the virus to spread. So I understood that, but we tried everything. You know, we spaced out people in the audience and people wore masks and everything, but still, it was just too much. Yeah.
Well, Mel, thank you for this. And I wonder if you would be willing, as we transition back into your day before I let you go, if you would be willing to answer a few questions to run through a fun little quiz I have for you.
Sure. I'll be happy.
You say that. You don't even know what I'm
That's true.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the trust. So off the top of your head, what is your favorite breakfast food?
My eggs.
Your favorite cocktail?
Oh, dirty vodka martini. Dry, very dry.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs, for sure dogs.
Trucks or cars?
Cars.
Acrylics or oils?
Oh, they're equal for me. I can't separate the two. I'm sorry. I can't make a choice. It's like Sophie. I can't make the choice.
That is a choice. Fair enough.
Yes.
Approximately how many pairs of shoes are in your home right now?
Probably a dozen.
Approximately how many books?
Oh, probably 200.
If you had a time machine and could go anywhere in time and see anything, what would you do?
I would go meet Abraham Lincoln.
What's one thing you've always wanted to paint or sketch and you haven't yet been able to do it?
Oh my, maybe a famous person, maybe going and sketching, I don't know, name somebody famous. Joe Biden. Go sketch Joe Biden.
Excellent. I didn't mean to stump you with that.
Sorry, yeah, I just couldn't think of any because I spent most of my life sketching. So.
And for the last question, what's the very first thing you want to do when this pandemic is absolutely for truths over?
Get back on stage and act. Yeah. That would signal the end of it for me. That would be the end because I don't think that's going to happen until it's over. I don't see how we can do that safely.
Well, I'm looking forward to that day. I will get a ticket. I will be there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mel. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for me too, Buffy. Thank you.